It's the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, brought to you by the good folks at Bet Rivers. Remember, for all of your wagering needs as we head towards the holidays, which means we go down the stretch in this NFL season, which is going to have a lot of big games. We head towards the NFL playoffs. We have all the bowl games, the playoffs in college football, all that coming up, plus everything else that's going on. If you want to get the best prices and the most imaginative parlays and all the best that you can get for your buck, then just go to betrivers.com, download the BetRivers app, and away you go. So they, of course, sponsor the podcast, as always. So just betrivers.com and download the BetRivers app. All right. I hadn't yet commented, and I've been asked a lot to comment on the Ohtani signing and what it means. I know there has been a lot said, and kind of a hold your breath kind of take about this $700 million contract over 10 years. But when you lift up the first page of the contract, what you see is that this is a contract by a player who actually backed up that he wants to win. He made it clear he wants to win. Now, I always thought Ohtani would stay on the West Coast. I always thought the Dodgers were the favorite because of who they are. They win, they go to the playoffs every year, and they have a ton of money. Plus, if you think about it, he doesn't have to move. He knows the city, so he can stay put. He's already got roots there, and he doesn't have to do anything except show up and play in a Dodger uniform. Now, his comments about winning are backed up by the fact that there is a lot of deferred money in this 10-year contract. First of all, there's no opt-outs in the contract. Now, who would want to opt out on a contract that's $700 million? But the reason there's no opt-outs is because a ton of the money is deferred. We're talking about maybe as much as $300 million. We don't know the exact number yet. It's been put that the number that will be on the books for the Dodgers this year for Ohtani will be in the low 40s, which would mean a lot of the money, maybe as much as $300 million, will be paid to Ohtani after he completes his 10-year career with the Dodgers. This is not a contract that is going to strangle the Dodgers as they try to win. And the Dodgers, and Ohtani knew this, are set up to win even adding him. He watched the team bankrupt itself with an aging Trout and give away all its youngsters, have no farm system, be badly managed, and not be able to win with Trout and Ohtani together. So what he did was he didn't want to duplicate that. He deferred a lot of the money, which makes this a very different contract. And he also was in a lineup with two tremendous offensive players in Betts and Freeman. Plus, the Dodgers, depending on which ranking you look at, are in virtually everybody's top 8 in terms of minor league talent, in terms of prospects. So it's not like they're bankrupt. They are very much in position to add players, and they are very much in position to continue their winning ways, really, with the addition of Ohtani. So Ohtani doesn't strangle them, as everybody worried about it strangling many teams. The Dodgers have kept it in perspective. Ohtani cooperated, and now he fits into a place where he's surrounded by very good players. He doesn't have to carry the load offensively. We don't know when he pitches again. We know what kind of offensive player he is. He had 45 homers this year. He had 95 RBIs, 304 batting average, and OPS, was 1.1, almost, 1.066. We know what kind of offensive player he is. We know what kind of pitcher he can be. I have always felt that he was going to have to decide to become an everyday player eventually. We'll see how that plays out over this decade. But right now we know he is just an offensive player. But he also is an enormous drawing card. He is extremely marketable and allows the Dodgers to market themselves in every way. They have a star-studded lineup. They're the Dodgers. They always go to the postseason. They draw a zillion people. They are the Dodgers, which is, other than the Yankees, the biggest and best brand in all of baseball. And all they have to do is plug him in and continue to win. I have seen all these reports about how this contract will revolutionize sports and revolutionize baseball. I don't see it. First of all, he's a unique individual. We have not had a player who came at the game this way as both a offensive star and a pitcher. This is something we have not seen. So he is not a run-of-the-mill superstar, if there is such a thing. He is very unique in what he brings to the table. Number two, the deferred money makes the contract very different than if we were looking at $70 million on the payroll every year for the next 10 years. We don't have that. We have a ton of deferred money. Does that mean over the period of the contract he takes less? Yes. Now, maybe the Dodgers, there might be something in that contract that escalates something based on cost of living. I don't know if there is or there isn't. Over a period of years, if inflation runs X, if cost of living is this, we will, we'll do this. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if they tied it to any economic terms. But the idea that as much as $300 million of this contract may be deferred, and that has been the talk, that takes the money down to where they can handle it. And it does not preclude them from doing other things and being the team they hope to be. So I don't see how this contract, with the deferred aspect of it being so prominent, I don't see how it revolutionizes anything. The biggest contract to this point in the history of baseball was $426 million. This contract, in real terms, over the next 10 years may only be about the same. If that's the case, how did this contract revolutionize baseball? It did in its raw numbers, but it didn't in actuality. Not many guys and not many agents would have allowed anybody to defer that kind of money, especially in a time when inflation has been running wild. That would have been considered absolutely something that was a non-starter. Now, that's why the 700 had everybody, whoa, 700 million. What are we talking about here? This guy's only made this. This guy's only made that. This guy's only made that. A-Rod's only made this. LeBron James has only made this. This is not a $700 million contract in reality. It might be more of a $400 to $450 million contract in today's money. So it changes everything about it. And let's be honest, that the Dodgers got him to do this. Now, I don't know what he makes off the field. I'm sure it is substantial. I'm sure it's substantial in his home country. I'm sure it's substantial in our country. It may get much bigger now that he's wearing Dodger blue, and I can promise you it will get much, much bigger if he plays in the World Series. And he knows that, and his people know that. And that might make him so much bigger at home that the money that we're talking about here may be dwarfed by the money he makes back home if he stars in the World Series, which is something that is viewed everywhere. And the Dodgers, like the Yankees, as you're hearing with Yamamoto, have credibility all around the world. The Yankee brand is worldwide. The Dodger brand is worldwide. And that played into this. And let's be honest, give the Dodgers credit. They landed a player they wanted. Now, I don't think he makes them automatically a World Series champion. I don't think on the field that's the factor. Does he help a lineup and make it better? Absolutely. He's not going to pitch, not right away. How much in the future we have to wait. But the Dodgers were able to get someone who will be an app. Now, they didn't need a drawing card at the gate, but think about all the secondary and tertiary ways that teams make money, and this guy will help them print money. In that regard, it'll be interesting to watch the relationship, especially if they play well in the postseason. Can you imagine a Yankee-Dodger World Series with Ohtani in it? I mean, it just magnifies the bigness of the event. But I don't see right now how this contract is anything but a very unique one-time trip by a very unique superstar. I don't think anybody, not Soto, not anybody who comes after it, I don't see how anybody duplicates this run, goes down this road, or would even contemplate taking that kind of deferred money. He has an idea about why he did that. Winning might be one, but his revenue streams might be so large that he envisions, and maybe rightly so, what the Dodgers with him winning and being the centerpiece and the face of the franchise is worth to him here and back home. That might be even hard for us to even calculate. And it may actually make his salary look small. So he not only went the smart way, he went the way other athletes should go. You should never want your contract to hold the team you're going to back. If that becomes the norm, then he will have changed the sport for the better and changed sports for the better. But Tom Brady did that at times, and nobody followed suit. I don't see that many people following suit because I don't think they maybe value winning as much as, say, a Brady did, or I don't think they have the earning power that this guy will probably have both here and abroad. That's what makes him unique. And that's what I think makes this contract very much a standalone, one-time contract, not something that will revolutionize or change the game. We'll see you later.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.